That could have been recorded yesterday.
I was...
was that 74?
Yeah, I was working out this morning, and I heard that, and I thought, but that's everything that I want somebody to say. That's everything I want somebody to say. You know, I've listened to people from all walks of life, and then I decide what I want to believe. And they go off and they decide what they want to believe. That's who Americans are. That's who we've always been. But as he says, some son of a bitch is out there, and they want to make the decision on what you think. And then because they control the press and control the media and control culture, then they'll go out and they'll try to make you into something that you're not. I thought it was interesting that he talked about Keynesianism. I mean, how many people in Hollywood could even talk about that? I mean, you know, you'd get the Matt Damons of the world, but how many people can talk about that? You know, you'd get Penn Jillettes, but look what they tried to do to John Wayne. Look what they try to do to conservatives. They try to make us look stupid. And Stu just showed yesterday a research paper that came out of Yale. It shows people at the Tea Party have a better grasp of scientific knowledge than the average person does. And yet we're the ones that believe in a sky god and a boomsticks. But we, according to researchers at Yale who said I was surprised, and then did the right thing and said, I guess I have to change my opinion on this. I expected to find one thing. I found something exactly the opposite, and so I have to change my opinion. But that's not going to happen with most people. But you know, when he spoke about redistribution of wealth. You go in, you can give $1 to 20 people in a room, and you go back a year later, and one of them's going to have 18 of the dollars. Just the way people are. You can't change greed. Well, yes, you can. But that requires you changing your heart, and that's something that government can't do. That's something we're supposed to do. That's something that the churches are supposed to do.
Which was exactly what he was saying.
Yes.
You can't legislate people's morality.
So we keep trying to change the laws. But what is really important, now this is 1974, and think of this. He's saying, as communication gets better, you're going to be able to show people where people are hurting, and people will help. Because that's who we are. That's who we always have been. And we'll go out and we'll help. And that's true. I got a call from a letter from the guy who runs a few of the cows for me. I've only got, 25. But he helps me on the farm and helps he helps. He's making sure the cows don't starve to death because I'd have no idea out there. But, And he wrote to me last night. And he said, the people up in South Dakota, Glenn, they don't want all of these handouts, and they don't want the government coming in. And they lost so many cattle. Cattle are expensive. Now, here's a guy in a small little town. He said, Glenn, I want to talk to you about, because we've been talking about it as neighbors, that maybe all of us will get together and we can send some of our cows up. And he said, I know this would work if you could just get the word out. I know there'd be a lot of ranchers out there that would donate a cow, and they'd replenish the stock for them. That's what John Wayne was talking about. He said, with a voice like yours, we could get the word out. That's what John Wayne was saying. As communication gets better, we can change things. As communication gets better, then all of a sudden people will help, because that's who we are. But there are professionals out there now. There are professional fundraisers. There's professional charities. Mercury 1, when you give to the disaster relief, when we say, hey, there's been a tornado, and if you click on this tornado thing and disaster relief, not a dime goes to anything but that disaster. Let me be more specific. Not a penny goes anywhere but to that disaster. But you have charities now that are professional charities, and that's been going on for a long time. But right now, what we have are we have these people now who are trying to. No, the President of the United States is one of them. I mean, let's start with the Indians, where John Wayne started. These professionals go in and they try to make the Indians hate us, stir up old hatreds. The same thing the president's doing with the Redskins now. It's no different than 1974. Trying to stir up all of the hatred. That hatred hasn't been there. I don't hate the Indians. I have such profound respect for the Indians. You know who the bad guys are in the Indians? Us. We relegate them to reservations. How do you think you're going to turn out? You don't think you're going to turn out to be somebody that doesn't have a lot of initiative? You don't think our society would be far worse than their society is right now if we were told, by the way, we're going to take care of everything, and we're gonna build all the houses, and we're gonna provide all the medical care, and we're gonna do everything, and we're gonna take away your guns, we're gonna take away your way of life, we're gonna strip you of everything that you were. You don't think we would be far worse? We would be. So what do we do about it? Well, I guess you can have something natural happen. You can have somebody like Martin Luther King that comes up, but again, John Wayne was right. We don't have that. We have professionals now. We don't have Martin Luther King. We have Al Sharpton. Martin Luther King was an original. Martin Luther King meant it. Martin Luther King wasn't in for the money. His family's in for the money now. Al Sharpton's in for the money. Look at the churches in Harlem that are coming after Al Sharpton now. Al Sharpton's the biggest fraud I've ever met. And if you remember right, if you've been listening to me for a long time, I gave Al Sharpton a real honest shot. I wanted to believe Al Sharpton was a decent man. When I met him, we sat down and we talked a lot, and I even went and marched with the man. Because I'll listen to somebody. It's like John Wayne said, I'll listen to him. I'll hear him out. I want to believe him. I want to believe they're who they say they are. He's not. He's a fraud. And because of people like him that want fame or TV show or money, and I got news for you. Somebody's doing some paper on fame and celebrity, and I filled it out this morning. And do you want to be famous? That was the first question. No, I don't want to be famous. I like being famous in one way. It can help me affect change. I don't know how you live. I really don't. I don't know. I'd explode if I were you. If I didn't have somebody on the radio or on television that was articulating my point of view, I think I'd explode. I've said this from the very beginning when they started bashing us. From the very beginning when I got onto Fox. I said, we're doing you a favor because I'm relieving the pressure. I'm allowing people to say, at least somebody out there is saying what I believe. But see, I didn't realize at the time they didn't want the pressure relieved. They want you to be angry. They want you to feel uncomfortable. They want to punish. But that's not who we are. Well, he said we have hope. At the first opportunity, you throw that out. It's like fish, they bite on it. That is who we are. Hope. People that want to believe that there are good people out there. And there are.